Continue on with today's press conferences here at Sonoma Raceway. And I tell you, this is going to be a fun press conference here because we're joined on stage by Will Rodgers, who today is driving the number 70 Chevrolet for the Koch family racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He also spots for this guy sitting next to me, Erik Jones, driver of the number 43 Dollar Tree Toyota for Legacy Motor Club, who will be spotting for Will in today's race. Gentlemen, how'd this deal come about?
Yeah, well, I guess Will, when we hired him on this year for the 43, he was, wanting to do some racing of his own, and we had no problem with it, but kind of told him if he put something together that I would spot for him, and I kind of figured that that would really, not that he wasn't going to put something together, but it would never work out that I would spot for him. So he got to putting together this deal for the 70 car, which he spots for on a weekly basis, and I said, well, I guess we're going to do it. So I haven't spotted in, I don't know, probably 12 years, and never done it as a main spotter at a NASCAR race. I've always just done some second spotter stuff. So, yeah, here we are. Now I'm doing it. A few hours away.
Will?
Yeah, I'm glad that Erik actually signed up to do it. I thought it would take a little bit more convincing, but I think I remember, where were we, Kansas or something? And I said, hey, I think there's a good chance I'm going to race Sonoma, so we're going to do this thing, right? And you said, yeah. I said, all right, I'm going to hold you to it. So here we are. I'm glad it came together, and obviously thankful to Legacy Motor Club to let me do this. Really, really enjoyed my new role at Legacy Motor Club, spotting for Erik. Between he, myself, and then Ben Bayshore, I feel like we make a really good team. Super chill, and I think we stay really focused, which is awesome. And gotten used to being a spotter full time. It's a pretty cool gig. I've really, really learned to like it a lot. So it's great, but really cool to have Erik come and spot for me this weekend for my return to Sonoma.
We're going to open up the floor for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We're going to start with Tom and then go to Zach.
Good morning. Erik, what is the difference between a main spotter and a second spotter?
Yeah, it's actually a little unique here. So I'm obviously up here in turn 1, kind of on top of the hill, and our second spotter's down here looking at turn 11. The only spots you really can't see here from up the top of 1 is turn 11, turn 10, and a little bit down here the front straightaway getting into 1. So I got it kind of easy. I don't have to call pit road or the restarts. That's all on second spotter this week. So it's a little bit different every road course depending on where you can see and where you decide to stand as the main guy. But for me, I've actually probably got less duties as the main spotter this week, other than checking in, I guess, is my main duty. Yeah.
Is it like riding a bike in that sense then?
No, not really. Practice started yesterday, so I've never spotted a road course. Well, I did some a little bit, but not much on a road course. So when Will rolled out, it took me just some time to get the timing down, kind of how fast the cars were coming, and obviously I've never spotted for Will, so I wasn't sure how he liked to get up to speed or how fast he would get up to speed, and Will hasn't been in a car for a little bit, especially Xfinity car, and so there was a lot of unknowns. So the first 5 laps was just kind of figuring that out, and then by the time he went out kind of second, third time in qualifying, I was starting to get a little more comfortable with everything. But no, not like riding a bike for me, for sure.
I'd say it definitely took about 3 laps for you to get comfortable there. I gave him a little leeway on that one. So.
Yeah, I just didn't talk the first 3.
We'll go next to Zach, and then we'll come up front to Jordan.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Will, to do this here at Sonoma after the ARCA West win back in 2018, what was it like for you to get out there yesterday in the Xfinity car and just have this opportunity here of all places?
It's really cool. I mean, I think most of y'all know this is what I would call my home track, and I've had a lot of success here. I feel like this is kind of where my name was made back in 2017 when I raced with Kevin Harvick as my teammate. We had an amazing run, and I didn't really have too much expectation for that race, and it turns out that I probably should have beat him that day, but didn't end up doing it, but it did pay off for me, and I feel like most people didn't know who I was, and then overnight they did. And so coming back in 2018, winning that was a special thing, but it's been a number of years since I've had a NASCAR opportunity here, and it's taken some time to just find that opportunity, find the right support, find the right car. And luckily, like Erik said, I spot the 70 full time, and when this opportunity came up, I knew I had to jump on it. So Yeah, it's super special. Happy to be back here. Sonoma's not the same way it was back in 2018 with the new repave and especially the patches now. So it makes it a little unique for me, but super, super cool.
Bianchi Athletic. This question's for Eric. As a spotter, can you glean anything from what's going on the racetrack or how the race is unfolding that then you can apply when you're in the car yourself?
Yeah, definitely. You can see, a little bit on TV, but when you got a perspective up top and you're seeing it live, it's way easier to tell what's going on. It was just kind of interesting to watch with the patches yesterday, and there's some bumps here now that weren't here before the patches. So I actually picked up a lot, more than what I thought I would have standing up there. It's been a long time since I've went up to any real spotter stand and just watched, around one of our tracks. So yeah, it was good. I thought it was interesting just to watch everybody today. I'm sure it'll be good to watch them again in the race and see how they move around, see what parts of the track get slick. And you catch so much that you don't always see on TV just watching it yourself. And I think as a driver, you probably watch different things and look at different cars than maybe you always see on TV. So yeah, I think there'll definitely be some stuff to pick up today.
Obligatory question about the tournament going on. You and John Hunter paired up. A lot of good-natured fun on video. What's it been like behind the scenes? I mean, you given it much thought? Is it really something the top of mind? What is the mindset kind of going into the weekend, or is it just business as usual?
Yeah, it's just been, I would love to give you some big play on it, but yeah, it's been just business as usual. Obviously for me, I'm always pretty good about just letting the result be what it is. I never really go into a race overthinking how I want to run or where I want to finish. I'm more of just, run the best race I can run and then hope that the result is going to come with that. So same with that. Obviously if there's our last lap, he's one car in front of me and we're going into turn 11. I mean, yeah, it might be different. But if that's going to be, that would be a crazy situation, right? So just run the race and let the result come.
Additional questions? We'll go to the gentleman here to the left. We'll get a microphone to you, then we'll.
Thanks, guys. Actually, Sacramento. Hey, so what is it like now you're spotting for him, or what are you learning in the car to help his race on Sunday?
Yeah, I think I've been able to share a little bit. Eric alluded to it with the new patches and some of the bumps here. They definitely caught me by surprise yesterday, I think, as it did with most people. So I was able to share that with him, and obviously visually he can see that from up top. And not that this weekend was in hopes to change anything from his perspective or what we're doing necessarily, but I think it could be helpful, in the future for different scenarios for him to know, like, okay, this is what it's like to be a spotter. And this track, I feel like road course wise is an easy one because he can see about 80% of the track. So I didn't throw you in the deep end like totally, but it still gives that perspective of being almost 30,000 foot, right? But yeah, I feel like I've been able to help a little bit. I hope he feels the same way. And today's race I think will help for tomorrow as well. So things that I learned myself too, I think will help with our program tomorrow.
Gotcha. And then Brandon, on the other side, what is it like with the configuration changes? Now that you see them firsthand, how do you think those changes have made the track?
Yeah, I mean, the repave was different last year, right, and changed the racing quite a bit here. I think it's aged a lot, even just in a year, but the patches are super unique now here. This place was always really smooth before the repave, and now it's funny we've done a repave. I think it's a lot rougher than it ever was, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I haven't drove it yet, obviously, till this morning here. We'll get out here, but it's you're asking a lot more out of the car. It used to just always kind of be about tire conservation and saving your stuff for the end, and last year was about a lot more hammer down and all out speed. I think there's probably a mix more this year of having some tire saving in there, but also having a lot of compliance and drivability in your car compared to what you probably normally work on here. So we'll see. Obviously our cars are a lot different than the Xfinity cars, so we'll have to see how they do today, but it's definitely a different, very different Sonoma now.
Front the Lee.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and Catchfence.com. How did you land on choosing Will as your spotter? Because that's a very personal decision to make, and I'm just kind of, what was it about Will that intrigued you?
Yeah, I guess there was a few things. We came here actually last year, and Will did some second spotting for me, and we decided a little bit later we were going to make a change for a spotter for this year. So there was a few names on that short list. Talked to those guys. It wasn't going to really work out, so I started kind of branching out and thinking, okay, well, who's not in the sport, who's not a spotter right now that I think could be a spotter? Will was kind of at the top of that list. Holly, my wife, actually kind of helped me come up with that. She thought he did a really good job here, and I'm like, yeah, he did. And got to thinking more about it and just asked him if he would be interested, right? It's something that I wasn't even sure if Will would want to do full time. And when I called him, he said, yeah, I'll do the second spotter every race for you. I'm like, no, not the, I'm talking the, like, you're going to spot every week. And he was interested right away. So I just thought his temperament and being a driver, he has a good, clear voice on the radio, which I think is important. And just felt like, with him being a younger guy too, it's a little bit easier just kind of mold and Will into what we wanted, right? It's not like he had a long history of spotting to where he was kind of set in his ways and wouldn't want to adapt. I felt like we could kind of help build Will into what we need and what I need as a spotter. So.
And for either one of you, will running this race in mid-July change the complexion of the race?
You want to answer that? I haven't run in a few months or a few years, so not sure.
In mid-July, you said? Is that what you said? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know with the repave if it's going to change it too much. It was super hot yesterday, obviously, but today and tomorrow looks like definitely way cooler than what we ran here in the past. So, yeah, I think it'll be different in that aspect. This place gets really slick in the heat for sure. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how much tire we got to save. I think, like I said, I don't have a great feel yet, not being out there, of how hard it still is on tires after a year. But with it being so relatively cool tomorrow for a race here, I think it's going to be really different than we've had in years. Yep.
Do we have any additional questions? We'll go to Reed.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. Eric, in the last stage of the race tomorrow, are you going to want Will to tell you where John Hunter is?
No, probably not. I didn't know where Ricky was last week at all. Well, then I drove into the wall, and I kind of thought we gave that up, and then we crossed the finish line, and it wasn't a very good day. And the first thing Ben says, well, we beat the 47. I said, okay, that's cool. I don't know how, but
we got lucky on that one.
Yeah, let's go.
Very lucky on that one.
No, I mean, I want to know right after for sure if I'm not aware where he's at. But no, he doesn't need to let me know.
I mean, if we're like 2 or 3 back from him and we're coming down to it, I'm definitely, I don't know, I might say something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Look out for that. Look out for that 42 up there.
I noticed you had to think for a second before you gave that answer. That shows you the impact of $1 million on the line. Any additional questions? We go to Brian.
Okay, real quick. There's been some debate on social media about the amount of road courses that are currently on the schedule. Do you have a feeling one way or the other as if we should maintain the current amount of around 6 or decrease or increase?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to just do a couple a year. I was totally happy running here in Watkins Glen. I don't know. I'm probably not the right guy to ask. I grew up as an oval racer. I didn't race a road course till 10 years ago for the first time. So my opinion is, this car it just hasn't put on as good of a show on the road courses as what the old car did, to be frank. And I think it's fun to go to different places, but I could see us doing here Watkins Glen and then one street course. I think it'd be hard pressed to find many that wouldn't agree with that. I think we know where this car puts on good races. The 1.5 mile stuff is great. And there's plenty of those tracks we can go back to that are sitting there. We're just waiting in prime to be raced. So I'd love to go back to some of those.
Gentlemen, good luck to both of you this weekend and have fun out there.
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you? Good to see you.